Alright, guys. It's time for the GSL semi-finals. herO in the top right side of the map. The funniest, the most unpredictable Protoss player in the world. He is the best Protoss player in the world. A man who can come out flash hot or a little cold depending on the day. But he is always going to try something new. And that's what's great about herO. He is a player who plays by feel, on instinct. Has some of the best killer instinct as well of any player in the world. Unfortunately for him, he's facing off against a rogue in the bottom left side of the map, a player whose ZVP has been on fire recently. I have been a little critical of rogue ZVP because I do think he is a bit predictable with rushing upgraded Zerglings. But I really wonder, is herO going to punish him? Because there's either something I've missed in the meta, and rogue has just figured out a genius way to shut down Glaive Adept openings. There's either that, or the Protoss players are just letting him get away with murder. I don't know which one it is. Now, this is interesting, guys. herO's going to go Gate Nexus before Gas. So normally you go Gate Gas Nexus. He's going to do the 18 Nexus here into double Gas. Now, the advantage of this build, I'm trying to remember. I mean, basically, it's more economic. Even though you're building the Nexus to supply earlier, it's actually more economic. The reason this is more economic is because you get your probes up, and you're mining your chronos from this so early. But I think it might slightly delay your Stargate? I'm trying to remember. We'll check the Stargate timing. Normal Stargate timing with a no scout build would be probably about, I want to say 2 minutes and 13 seconds you'd get your Stargate down. herO's build's usually not quite as tight as some of the more optimized ones. But we'll see if he can get that timing down. You can see he's going to try and get a little bit of a stack of mining there. And then he will, of course, rally onto this gas as it finishes. So you'll see the gas is finishing. And he pulls one off that patch where he triple stacked it for a moment. Pulls another one off minerals as well. So he really does want to catch up on the gas now, knowing that his first gas geyser was delayed. He's going to go for an Adept and Warp Gate research. If he cancels the Warp Gate, he'll get 50 more gas back to put into Stargate. But this is looking like it might just be a non-Stargate build even. We'll find out in a moment. No chrono on the Adept either. Purely defensive build. herO just taking advantage of the fact that all-ins at the start are so rare. Players able to get away without scouting the vast majority of the time. Double chronos go down on the probes. The Stargate is down about 226. So it is a little late, about 10 seconds later with this build. But boy, is your economy rolling. So many chronos, so many probes coming out. On the other side of the map, rogue has gone for a more standard hatch gas pool, has built only 2 Zerglings at least, hasn't committed to the 4, has a 3rd hatchery on the way, but you can see it's very hard to keep pace with a Protoss who just puts all of their energy, their economy focus into that probe production. And of course, the Oracle will be coming out, and that's where the chronos should be diverted. You can see the Oracle will start, and soon after, you'll hit 50 energy on the Nexus, so you can chrono boost that, and that's where the actual poking at the Zerg side of the map begins. This has become more and more popular recently. Probably not as fun as the crazy YOLO Adept Oracle diving styles, but both have their merits. So far, rogue defending very cleanly, pulling all of these Zerglings back so they don't die. 5 more drones on the way. And how long can you get away with delaying spores as rogue? Yeah, I think he's going to drop a spore in this main base any moment now. Is that Oracle? It's being chrono boosted. 3rd Nexus. Oh, so early. Doesn't even wall his base off. With shield batteries, our early Oracles, energy recharge. Protoss just don't fear the Ling Flood the way they once did. Used to be one of Rogue's favorite tools to bully Protoss players, was flooding Zerglings if they didn't have that wall off up on time. Even if they did. Go back to 2021, the online era. He was always drilling drones through to attack the guy from behind in the wall off and rip the door open. Oracle, oh, gonna get the creep tumor, but that does cost you some hit points. Yeah, not sure if that's worth it, since the queens do immediately plop out some more creep tumors, but herO finds a little bit of a bonus there. Oracle needs to be careful, though. Sees some queens in the main, does fall back. He's going to get one more drone if you don't cancel that. Oh, gets another lava. Well done. herO the master of finding value where other players wouldn't. This, to me, feels like it is a charge opening, guys. I'm not sure why. Just the Twilight's quite early, but so is the Forge. And indeed it is charge. Yeah, it's just the early Forge, because when you go Zealots, you really want +1 done so that your Zealots 2-shot Zerglings rather than 3-shot them. It's such an important upgrade. The Overlord can see that Forge. I think that is a bit of a tell, just seeing it being done already. But, oh, he changes directions, does rogue. Doesn't quite go up there. And that's going to be a bit of a bummer. Chronoing the probes as well. herO's economy just all steam ahead. Absolutely no brakes on this train. Now, interestingly, guys, I said Rogue always goes +1 melee every single game, and I wonder if hero's actually going to punish him. Where Zaun and a lot of other players have failed to punish him consistently over the last few months. But you know what? He's not gone Evo Chamber. He's just built a Roach Warrant. I think he's expecting hero to be more aggressive, and Roaches are what you need against Zealots. If he can go Mutalisks while defending with Roaches against any Zealot Archon pressure, this could be excellent. Remember, even if you run across with Zealots, there's no Robo with this build, so you can't warp them in on the front. Oracles snag a Creep Tumor there. Zerglings will take out these Adepts in the bottom right. Easy cleanup here, man. 6 Roaches coming in. There's not that many Zealots. And just going to 7-8 gateways now is hero. I feel like... And now hero's just making defensive Storm. If you drop a Spire right now as Rogue, you're in an excellent spot. But it feels more like a Roach all-in? I don't know. Hard to... I think both players are still unsure what the other player's doing. Oh, it's a Roach Hydra build. Okay, Roach Hydra builds are washed. I don't like them. Haven't liked them in a long time. They can be good. They absolutely can be good. It's all about getting an angle. And I think one of the reasons Roach Hydra can be quite powerful against hero, as a Spire does go down. Oh, hello. Okay, he's hidden a Spire in the corner of the map using an Overlord to drop creep. That's awesome. So it's kind of Roach Hydra, but you're going to sneak Mutas out. It's just not very fast, that Spire, which is what I don't like. But I do like the... Goes +1 melee, cancels it, makes +1 range. Rogue being a little indecisive right now. So one of the reasons hero struggles against Roach Hydra is hero can't keep it in his pants. And I know that's not the most professional way to analyze it, but let's be honest, it sums up hero's style in a nutshell. There are a lot of situations where if hero just defends with lots of Psy Storms, some cannons, some batteries, Roach Hydra is not going to find an angle on him. But knowing hero, he will want to push with Psy Storm. He will want to attack across the map. And if you can surround those High Templar, come from many angles, the Storms can't cover every side. If he's just defending this area, 2 Storms, blanket the whole thing, he can hold you off forever. But if he moves into the middle of the map and gets surrounded, that's a different story. Not to mention he has almost no anti-air right now, guys. There's very little that shoots up. A cannon and a battery in the natural, an Archon morphing in, 3 cannons in the third. I think hero thought there was a big Roach Hall incoming, so he seems to have misread this game. He's now recalled his Oracles. They've come back home. And he is going to push forward. It's a Zealot Archon Storm timing. 10 Mutas are building. If they can fly over the top and kill all the High Templar, then he should be in a good spot. The Zerglings, though, are nearly worthless. Against Zealot Archon, these Lings are very bad. And Rogue's 4th base, oh, he's overdroned. He might just die. He's just way overdroned right now. 81 workers. Holy moly, Lings are going to go in. The Lings and Roaches cannot fight this. Even the Psy Storm wrecks the Zerglings, not to mention the Zealots, the Roach Hydra, or the Roach Zerglings, sorry, trying to engage. The Mutas are going to overwhelm. The Roaches are trying to click the Archon while the Mutas hitting all the Psy Storms and trying to pick this off. He's got to commit, though. He's got to commit and take that Archon down. He will take it down, but the other Archons might finish morphing before he can deal with it. He's got to focus fire with these Mutalisks. And the thing is, the Archons are finishing morphing. They're going to beat these Mutas. And it's a simple timing attack for hero. It's such a nonsense timing on paper. If you told me you're just going to hit at 7:45 with 6 High Templar, 1 Archon, and 14 Zealots with +1, I'd say that's the most random attack ever. In what world does that ever work? Hero says, hold my beer. No one else does this. This looks like a turtle build. This looks so much like a turtle build. And honestly, he might have only made the choice to attack on the fly. Why else would he have built 3 cannons and a battery in his third, a cannon and a battery in his natural? He looks like he thinks there's an all-in coming. And when most players go, oh crap, now I'm stuck defensive, hero says, well, might as well attack and see if this works. And you know what? Rogue scouted. He saw cannon battery. He saw a turtling stance, and he said, well, the correct play against this is be reactive. Drone my 4th base. Look, I've got 8 gases, 4 bases, 5th base coming up, infestation pit on the way. I've gone Roach Hydra tech. Let's add some upgrades for those. I've got my Spire, squeeze 10 Mutas out, go into Roach Hydra. We should be all good. Well, no, guys. You can't play Roaches and Hydras and 30 Zerglings with no upgrades that are completely hard countered by the Zealot Archon. So the Zerglings are worthless. The Mutas are just not a great direct combat unit. If he managed to get 15, 20 Mutas, totally overwhelm the anti-air. Obviously, it's a different story, but he didn't quite get there in time because that Spire was a bit too late. Honestly, I think if Rogue just went immediate Spire instead of Hydrogen in the back, he could have shut this down with Mutalisks. I would describe Rogue's play here as overly fancy. And that's why a sort of inefficient timing like what Hero's done, where Hero thinks he's being all in, he's turtling up and he's, oh crap. And then he just shoves across the map. No Warp Prism to warp in, nothing like that. It's not the most powerful army, but Rogue is playing too many mind games. And that works really well when his opponent is afraid of him. herO is afraid of absolutely nothing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the advantage of having no fear. And what I've always said is fascinating about StarCraft is it reminds me a lot of mixed martial arts in that you've got this just absolutely insane mix of skills and just not that many rules on like what you can and can't do in StarCraft, whereas a lot of sports are a little bit more limited, right? In terms of like if you play tennis and there's certain restrictions around how you serve, where you have to hit the ball, and there's still a lot of creative range and huge range in how people play it. But you get a sport like mixed martial arts where you don't know if someone's going to friggin' punch someone in the crotch or bite someone, or obviously those things are usually against the rules, though people get away with them all the time. But you know, essentially, is someone going to wrestle? Are they going to strike? Are they going to do this or that? There's so many different skills that players can excel at and you know, be good or bad at, and you never know exactly what's going to happen. The difference is in mixed martial arts, people get really seriously injured, and it's like sometimes horrifically so. So it's kind of like scary to do certain things. And it's rare you find someone at the very top who's able to just be completely careless with their own physical well-being, which makes sense, right? Because they wouldn't have a long career. The great thing about playing a video game and these soldiers not being real is herO can throw away massive armies, multiple games, doing the most insanely just out there like stuff, just trying things, seeing what works, just off. He can just have a feeling that, oh, let's do this, and he'll go do it, and there's no repercussions outside of that individual match. You know, you lose a really bad boxing match or an MMA fight, and there might be very serious long-term consequences for you. You know, but herO can just run it back 2 minutes later with a big fat smile on his face, and that's the joy of fighting in a video game, as herO can just do whatever the heck he wants. And you know, it's a superpower to not be tilted. So many players get tilted. Oh, I can't believe I threw this game, or I messed up this lead. herO doesn't care. I mean, he does care, but he just doesn't let it worry him. I guess that's a distinction that should be made. Now, don't get me wrong, Rogue's pretty damn solid as well. I think, was it Rogue who was very tilted during the late game meta, 2022? I remember there was a game on Glittering Ashes where he got a really, like, the best greed I've ever seen, got to this Broodlord army, and he was just kind of getting his army together. And I think it was Zest or someone just moved over him. Just like, they just jumped on him with, like, carriers and archons, just rolled him and killed him instantly. And Rogue did punch his keyboard a few times, did not look very happy with that. So Rogue actually does get more tilted, I'd say, than herO, but at the same time, he's very, very clever and very good at reading his opponent's plays, and I'm very curious to see what he's got in store for us, because he seems to have really figured out the current meta to an incredibly high level. herO has an uncanny ability to forget about the last game, says Giant Gnome in the chat. I think that's such a good way of putting it. It's such a good way of putting it. There is no trauma because he's always in the present, you know? Adept, trying to rotate around, gets a few Zerglings there. This is a good start for herO. And, oh, he's a little slow on the Spore trick. Oh! I don't know if that was genius or a mistake by Rogue, but he pulled the drone away as if he was going to build the Spore. herO assumed he was going to build the Spore, so he changed targets. And then only on the third drone getting shot does Rogue actually build the Spore Crawler to keep it alive. Very cute micro on both sides there, as herO hits a massive 46 supply block and wastes an entire chrono into this Oracle. Okay, that was a little sloppy. Maybe not entire chrono, maybe it was just the leftover one from the previous Oracle, but still, definitely did delay it a bit. Third Nexus goes up, 354. Not quite as greedy as the last game. You can see herO's playing a much more aggressive game. He says, first I show you the turtle play, just chronoing probes all early game. Now I mix it up and play the more dynamic movement focused game. And I think this is always a good way to play. Aggression one game, defensive the next, change your timings up, give your opponent different looks so they don't know what's coming. Step's going to shade into the third base. He's going to take out a drone. No, he's not. Good micro for Rogue, mate. Very good micro for Rogue. Oh, he does get one drone at the tail end there. If a few of the drones turned to fight, he could have saved it, but one drone, 12 Zerglings for 2 Adepts. It's not the end of the world for Rogue. He's quite okay with that. He's going to go Evo Chamber now. The build we expected in game 1. So it's +1 melee Zerglings. Twilight Council at 430 into Forge. This looks like a very standard Blink build. It could still be charged. There's no reason why it has to be a Blink opening, but this looks much more typical for herO. Much more kind of balanced, relatively standard play. I'm not here for the herO slander. Pig has more than enough for the entire SC2 community. Hey man, if slander's facts, then I will drop all the slander. Of course, our ongoing banter here with Giant Gnome in the chat is that he's the #1 Dark Hero fanboy in the world, and how dare I say anything critical of their choices ever. Man, I can't wait till Dark comes back. He said very late this year is what he was updating people on Twitter recently. Sure, hero's enjoying not having to play against Dark, though. They both always said it was so stressful. Whenever they played each other, they always both said they hate playing each other. So hard to read him. He always knows what I'm going to do. And I was like, I don't know if you guys do. I don't think either of you knows what the other one's going to do, because neither of you seems to know what you're going to do until the moment it happens. That Adept is obviously not in the wall, by the way. Lings can run past that Adept. Just off position. Oh, shield battery there, so Ling's not going to find anything. Quite a few Lings get trapped in the mineral line. Rogue does see the 6 gases. Now, normally seeing 6 gases is a sign for you as the Zerg to want to drone your 4th base up. Otherwise, and you've seen 3 oracles as well, so you've seen, you know, pretty big signs of long-term macro play. There is a Zealot, a couple of Adepts, only 2 Stalkers. It could be a charged Zealot build. Rogue's still not 100% sure it's Stalkers. Roach Horn's coming in as well, so Rogue has added a little bit of extra safety here. I think he's aware that Glaive Adepts is his weak spot with how much he rushes +1 melee, and you can see he's actually playing this series so much safer than he played his series against Zaun in the round of 8, right? Against Zaun, I think he just knew Zaun's maybe not favoring Glaive Adept, not willing to do it, and as a result, he was so greedy against it, got away with it. Against herO, Rogue does play a bit safer. That being said, now he's playing crazy. And Rogue's playing classic Rogue style, guys. This is the style I criticized when he came back from the military, because it's old school, and it usually doesn't hold up in modern play. I'll explain it in a moment. 2 more drones go down, but he has a knack of making this work. So what Rogue's doing, guys, is these oracles do fly away, just 2 drones, is he's opening every tech tree at once. He wants to be able to go mutas and hard commit. He wants to be able to go Hydras hard commit, Banelings hard commit. Problem, if you want to open up all those choices, it delays your timing, which gives the Protoss more time. If the Protoss just takes a 4th, gets a good setup, and then scouts and doesn't, you know, throw their, you know, overcommit to any one thing, they should get ahead. And Protoss is the one who benefits from time more than Zerg, generally. He sees the Stalkers, he sees the Storm, he sees, you know, a very defensive 3-base setup. herO playing incredibly safe. So I love that Rogue's got a big economy. And I kind of want him to go full send on the mutas, but it looks like with this timing, he's going to have to play a Hydraling Bane to defend. With no Bane speed, it's a little tough, but with on-creep Banelings, you can usually get towards the High Templar and force those Storms out. I love the counter-attack. Remember what we said, Zergling's not that effective in the frontal fight in the last game? Well, in this game, they'll actually be a bit better because they have +1 melee, and there's not as many Zealots. Nonetheless, it's all going to be about the Hydraling Bane to defend. Going to try and engage already is these Zerglings. Banelings coming in from the south side. Can they get to the High Templar? Oh my god, they can. Okay, the High Templar are all gone. Yes, the Storms go down, but the Hydras avoid the Storms. It's actually herO eating a lot more Storm damage than Rogue right now. Rogue coming forward with the Hydra Queen. He should be able to push this back. And of course, he can hard swap mutas behind this with that 900 gas. Now that he's defended the scariest moment, he's got a pack of Hydras. I really would not mind Rogue taking these 2 gases either on this base just to get even further ahead for the next setup. But for now, he knows this is herO. He's got to respect him, even though he did trade very well in that fight. It's only down less than 1,000 resources, and herO's still on the front with a very small army. herO continues to rally to the front and takes a forward base. Remember, herO's answer to losing a fight is often to continue attacking. herO's favorite way to get back in a game is to basically rear up on his hind legs, fan out the frill behind his head, and start making loud noises. He always exhibits classic signs of like a meerkat or something, or like some creature that's not actually intimidating, but like they just stand up in a group and kind of wave their arms around, and like a bear or whatever just gets scared and confused. Like that's herO's style in a nutshell, is I'm going to intimidate you off the map with 15 Stalkers even though they've got nothing else and they have no business actually competing on the map with you. It keeps Rogue busy. It stops him building mutas. It's doing a very good job so far of buying time. And space is so important. Look at the trading now. He's got another 600 resources of value, and he can just keep blinking back, picking you off. And he doesn't allow Rogue to set up any Banelings into mineral lines, any big surrounds. The gold base, also a big target. Oh my gosh, Rogue eats a big Storm. Those Banelings, bit of a delayed micro there for Rogue. But the Hydras are doing well, even though he loses a few drones here. Oh, and Banelings come in from behind. A few Banelings, not too many. This is really nice. Tamandua is the animal Pig wants. Yeah. I know there's lots of animals that do this as a defense mechanism. You know, they make themselves look really big. Ooh, Hydraling Bane hanging out. Storm's coming forward. Hydra's coming around the back, and the Baneling flank is too good. Ooh, the Zealot flank cleans up the Hydra flank, though. Hold on, hold on, hold on. The Zealot flank cleans up the Hydra flank. Hydras are so bad against Zealots if they ever get caught out by them, because the Zealots just jump on top and rip them apart, and the Hydras are so much more expensive. But as long as you got Banelings guarding those Hydras, they do just fine. Zerglings pop out of the stasis trap. Rogue just can't get out from under the gun, man. It's so crazy how hero's able to do these pressures. It always feels so dangerous. And yeah, he's doing really well here, but he's always in danger of overcommitting. That being said, there's no Banes, or very few Banes. The Zealots coming in are always so scary here. It's like you're kind of trying to commit when there's no Banelings out. Those two Banes could get massive hits, and they do. But he needs more Banes, and it just feels like, how are you out-trading Zerg in these scenarios? It's just Storm, Stalkers, and Zerg not quite having the numbers ready. So impressively done. Perhaps herO needs to give this base up. I'm not quite sure. How many Hydras has he lost during all this? 14. Oof. And somehow he's got 81 probe economy behind it. herO, I think, is back in charge of this game. Mothership started. And I can't believe it. He just gets on the map, and in the movement, in the action, he lands Storms. But not only does he land Storms, he continually warps in new High Templar, energy recharges them, and sends them to the front. This is what most players don't do. Without a Warp Prism on the front, most players really falter on their reinforce. He just keeps reinforcing, keeps bringing new High Templar. It's just got to be careful, because he's got no reserve behind this. There's no cannons on the 4th, no High Templar gathering energy, nothing in the wall off. Like, this is a very vulnerable setup at home. But if you're smothering the Zerg, who's trying to get Lurkers, Hydras, Lings, Banes, built to Spire, going for Lurker upgrades, going for Adrenal Glands, it's really hard to do it. Lurkers on that base getting taken out by the Zealot Archon. A brilliant push here for herO, who says, if you want to defend this base, you have to move through Psystorm, and good luck with that, buddy. You can't move through the storms. The gold base goes down, and herO's done it again. The king of movement, the king of action. And Rogue is going to have to rethink his strategy of opening up every different tech tree. You can't go Roaches, Lings, Banes, Infestation, Lurkadent, Spire, Hive, and 6 bases. Rogue was absolutely ahead in this game, but you've got to make sure you turn that lead into units that are forcing the fights on the Protoss a bit earlier. I think an earlier commitment to Mutas could have worked out. A full send on Hydra Bane might have worked out as well, but it's just a little bit too much tech spread in a few too many different directions, and herO takes advantage of that and does bully Rogue here. Now, Rogue does have 10 range on these Lurkers. He's not out yet. Lurkers do beat this whole army. herO walking into those Lurkers just a little, but he doesn't lose too many units. Not yet. Going to find another Lurker on the left side. These Overlords also quite exposed. There are still 4 Oracles in that army. There's one thing I love about herO in this scenario is he micros a lot like Alpha Star. For those who don't know, Alpha Star, the DeepMind AI, was always fun to watch because you could tell there weren't different control groups because it's an AI. It doesn't need control groups. There's the Banelings! herO loses a whole lot of his High Templar. He does bring in a few more, so they will regen energy, but herO has got to be careful. He's got to guard those High Templar on creep. Of course, that's the sort of thing where when the game's dead even, that's often game winning. But in this scenario, herO has plenty of map control in room. He's got Tempest out. He's in the position where it should be checkmate. Rogue's best chance is catching herO out of position. Half your army hits here. herO recalls to defend it. Half your army hits up here. Maybe a Nidus Worm gets on the production. Doing that without the Zealots swarming your base is going to be tough. But Rogue's got to make the play. He's got to try to find an opening. He will take out the Lurker here. Zealots coming back. There's no detection. And the Banelings will clear up a few of these Zealots as well. There we go. The detection with the Oracles does clean these Lurkers. It's an expensive army, and it doesn't feel like he's getting value for it. This army will be more worthwhile. Does clear a Nexus on the left. But of course, a 4-base Protoss can live for days. Can absolutely live for days. Even with this, you know, faster mining out bases we have here in the live version of the game. Of course, this is not the PTR. I'm not going to see a big tournament like Global StarCraft League change to the PTR until the PTR, you know, until that patch is fully released. Chat says, herO's really good at throwing away advantages when he's ahead, though. Don't give up hope for Rogue yet, Pig. You guys are not wrong. I still very much doubt it. It's just very few tools for Rogue. If Rogue was on Ultras, I'd believe. Ultra Corruptor beats this army. It's a very expensive army. You'd need to have already been Tech 2, though. Hydra Lurker against this army, it's so hard to, like, for herO to make a big enough mistake to throw this army away, because there's only really one thing you do. You tag the Zerg, and then you just pick it in with Tempests and Storms. You tag him with the Revelation. See, this is herO's vision. Pick it in with Tempests and Storms. Storm goes down. Does lose one Tempest, but a few Hydras going down as well. Tempest, oh my gosh. Okay, herO's Tempest Micro definitely a little chaotic there. He's walking into spores multiple times. Dude, attack move solves this. Literally, attack move would not do that. Okay. A lot of negative micro here for herO, but I mean, at the end of the day, what's he lost? 2 Tempests. Easily replaceable, and he is picking off plenty of Hydras and Lurkers, and even trades are good for herO, because herO is ahead in economy in this game. He's also got a massive Zealots cancelling a base in the bottom left. More Lings and Lurkers coming in on this side. Hard to even break through, honestly. A few Zealot Warpins could probably break that. Vipers and Hydras will kill all the Tempests. They get left behind again. herO has the patience with his Tempest Micro of no one. He just has 0 patience, let's be honest. He really does not take his time with his Tempest Micro. So funny, because you're never meant to lose the Tempest. You're meant to like shield them with feedback and storm and like dance in and out. But for herO, he's always going to be a bit more chaotic. And to be fair, clean up the base is the higher priority. Rogue's struggling for income. He does have +1 flyer attacks, does Rogue, which is nice. Kind of needs it. Anytime Zealots are trading evenly with Hydras, it's really bad for the Hydras. You can just see how good the Zealots are, man. Those cheap Zealots wrecking the Hydras. Lurkers will eventually clean these Zealots. But since the Zealots can't see the Lurkers, they automatically aggro on the drones. So it's still a good trade for herO. Keep in mind, even though you might think 10 Zealots for 11 drones, obviously the Zealots cost more. Yeah, they do. But Protoss is on 5 base. Protoss doesn't care too much about their minerals. Rogue is struggling for economy. So you can trade 1 to 2, you know? You trade at 50% of the value a few times like that to keep Rogue's economy in the dumps, as long as you're not losing your high-value Tempests, Mothership, Storms too much. Lurker harass, not a bad idea. There's cannons everywhere, though, isn't there? Hard to find an angle. He can go up like here or here, I guess. Oh, not even there. He's got to go here. The single Lurker. I mean, if there's other stuff going on, great move. Very distracting. As it is, he gets 3 probes before he dies. Could have been worse. +2 flyer attacks on the way, as well as shields. Is that level 2? Level 3 plasma shields. Oh my gosh. herO's Archons are actually going to be reasonably tanky. Zealots down here run into a pack of Lurkers. Are the Vipers out, guys? We've got 1 Viper out. Obviously, abducting Tempests could be good. Can't abduct the Mothership. And Hydras against Mothership is one of the saddest battles of all time. I saw in our weekly cup, that was yesterday, right? Yeah, weekly cup, we saw Eggs tried to do a Hydra Ling timing into a Mothership. That Mothership, I think it had 25 kills by the end of that hold, and it hadn't even lost its shields. It was down to like 4 shields, untouched hit points. It killed like so many Lings and Hydras, it was insane. Of course, Corruptors help out there. Why was Rogue making a Roach? Someone said, oh, did he make a Roach? I didn't see it. Probably a misclick. Dude, this army's insane, though. Enough Immortals to make even Ultra's not that powerful anymore. Mass cannons on the left side, though. Can they hold off against the Hydraling Lurker advance? It looks like the Hydraling Lurker will bust through, but at what cost? Massive Protoss army moving through. Revelations still being used very well by herO. He's also got an Observer. The Lurker's trying to deal with his Blinding Clouds. Blinding Clouds, I think Blinding Clouds might be the play, yes. Parasitic Bomb ends up going down. Doesn't really use any Blinding Clouds. Just a Power Bomb on the Mothership, which does do good damage to the air units, but I don't think you're ever killing these air units, are you? Hydra Lurker moves forward. Rogue making the game messy right now. herO does not need to engage in a base trade. The longer this stalemates, the better it is for him, because any stalemate involves you picking away at the Zerg with your longer ranged units. But upping the ante, the best thing Rogue can do. With no Corruptors, I don't know if it's necessarily going to save him. He's only got 1 Viper gathering energy right now. Archons try to come in here. No detection. No detection's a problem, man. Oh, wait, he does have detection. I don't know where the detection is, guys. Maybe I'm blind. I guess the cannon on the low ground maybe was giving vision on that 1 Lurker. And now the Oracle Revelation comes in, and that does provide vision on the rest. Yeah, that makes sense. herO stabilizes. He's on 38 probes. Definitely scrappy, but his army is massive, and Rogue has no answer. Rogue could build about 15 Corruptors to help with the Tempest and the Mothership. That would help a lot, but he's got no cash. Said it's 16 Hydras. When they have... basically, when you have 2 Hydras for every capital ship, that's not a good sign. Viper gets feedback, shot down, only gets 1 Tempest with the Abduct. herO going to start long distance mining up the top as well. This is a shame, guys. This is 2 games in a row where Rogue has built a significant economy advantage. But herO has trusted in the, I will play incredibly safe on 3 base, do a big push, and only then take a 4th and macro up behind that. And essentially, Rogue's made the same mistake 2 games in a row here, which is, he's said, well, you're being too defensive, I can do everything. 85 drones, hive, 5 bases, 3-4 different tech trees. It's just too much. At the end of the day, this is exactly the strategy that Rogue used to do a lot, which was, I'm going to wait for you to make a play and then I'll counter it. With how well Protoss build economy in modern StarCraft, this only works if they're too afraid to attack with their army, and you get away with essentially a greedy window. So I just want to really highlight this for you guys, because I remember he was doing this a lot, where there was a moment where everyone was like, they're either rushing mutas, or they're doing a Roach Queen walk, or they're doing a Hydra Bane build. There was like, you'd kind of really optimize your strategy to make sure you got Protoss and killed them or damaged them before they got really strong. And when Rogue came back from the military, he was like the one guy, maybe a year after he came back, where he was still just basically trying to play flexible Zerg, where he'd build a bigger economy, he'd go Hydra Den and Spire and Baneling Nest, and he'd kind of like scout and see what they scout, and he'd try to pick the correct option, which like I love theoretically. I love this, and I wish it worked better. And he does make it work against Protoss that aren't herO a fair amount. The reason it's so difficult, though, is even with a guy building extra cannons and batteries and just sitting on 3 base this long, like the thing is, he can actually just go attack you off of that 3 base. And that's essentially what herO's done. Even though he's played safe, very defensive, Stormstalker is meant to be a very defensive composition. Last game, it was a bit more of an aggressive one. He can go aggressive off this. And essentially, you can't go 84 workers and all these buildings. Spire, Hydra Den, Bane Nest, Roach Warren, you know, 8 gases, 5th base. I mean, maybe you can, but it feels like, imagine if you cut some of that tech out and you commit a bit harder to something. It feels like maybe there should have been an opportunity here for Rogue, and he was just a little bit slow on the Banelings here. I don't think he took too much damage on this first fight. The Banelings do kind of get on top and clear most of the High Templar. And I actually thought he was going to, you know, with his 16 worker lead, hey, you're defending that, you're killing some expensive Protoss units. You could probably just go full Hydra Bane from here, or you can pivot full mutas, one or the other. I think full mutas would have been amazing. Even if he gives up this base here, goes back to 4 base. 4 base is more than enough for him right now. And maybe counterattack. You know, if herO goes and rotates left, maybe counterattack is third. I don't know, man. Feels like this should have been an amazing spot for Rogue, but he didn't quite have movement speed with his Hydras or his +1. He starts going heavily into the Hydra Bane, but then he just never found a way to get out from under the thumb. And I think herO utilized this angle on the left really well to find good fights far away from where Rogue wanted to be fighting. And rather than trying to crush him with an overwhelming Hydra Bane flank from 2 sides, which I think if Rogue wasn't going maybe Lurker Den, Infestation, hadn't spent 200 on the Spire already, he does have a lot more. And you can imagine, even in like, what, 600 minerals and gas, going into Hydraling Bane, if he flanked this army over here a bit earlier, which he ends up doing eventually, but you could see it took him a long time. He lost quite a few drones on the gold during it, and basically herO was able to keep him pinned while probing his 4th, going up towards Mothership, and Rogue was kind of stuck, and he wasn't able to get to that next step, and herO also out-traded him. So I think Rogue is probably going to need to, in the next game, be a bit more decisive at, like, overbuilding army and crushing herO as quickly as he can. All right, guys, herO going right across at the very start of the game. And he's going to go scout his opponent. Rogue in the bottom right side, herO in the top left, and Rogue has no more chance for error. Now, to be fair, Rogue's had 2 excellent early games, guys. The reason I'm kind of sad that he's down 0-2 is he's had such a good work account 2 games in a row. He's had a good army. He's had a pretty good position. And perhaps with some adjustments, he can turn this into a victory, because it feels to me like herO has gotten away with oddly conservative play. Like, yes, he was a little more aggressive earlier on. Ooh. In that second game, but it still was the same thing. I'm making, you know, a third, and I'm not willing to rush a 4th base, right? It's like the opposite of Maxbax. Maxbax is like, I must get my 4th base online at 6 minutes, you know? And herO is really playing this much safer kind of Korean style 3 base safety. It's kind of the anti-Shin style. That spawning pool a little late there for Rogue, as hero's probe has been annoying him. You just pull the weak drone to the inside where it's safe, and if he keeps attacking it, he will die, yeah. But Rogue has some of the worst defensive probe harass out of any top Zerg player, any top player in general. And yeah, it's just you could tell he gets a little bit more flustered by the worker harass and annoyed by it than other players. Often gets his workers bullied off patches, leaves a drone chasing the probe unnecessarily for sometimes 30-40 seconds at a time. Rogue, you know how SERIES has like a little bit of that old man energy where he's like, I refuse to do the worker boosting micro to improve my mining at the start. Like, that's stupid. Rogue kind of has the same thing. He's like, dude, I want to win with this strategy. I don't, like, yes, I'm fast. Yes, I play the speedy game of StarCraft, but like, come on, man, get out of here. Just leave me alone. Let me do my build order. Dude, he's so annoying. herO has won more games off of the psychological damage of a single probe than anyone else in all of StarCraft 2's history. He's such a legend. All right, probes are now rallying to the natural, chronoing all of those probes. No chrono on the adept, so full economy, just like game one, guys. Just like game one. All right, is this going to be third queen before? Yeah, third queen before third hatchery, guys. European style. I feel like that's a safer way of playing for shutting down the adepts and the oracle, but... And especially if you're going to go creep tumor first, I guess, which really does allow you to get out there to control space a bit better, so... Very good opening. I mean, the third base gets delayed about 20 seconds here, not a big deal. And then you go back to droning. And of course, you can see, you get supply booked on 36, but then the Overlord pops, you have another one queued. And this lava inject is going to pop out right now. And because you're going third queen, third hatchery anyway, you don't have enough minerals to spend any more lava. So it's not bad. Does need to inject his natural, though, now that the third queen's there. There we go. He gets on it. And the creep tumor gets down. Hey, hero's got to be a bit annoyed by that. Rogue, not so much. I will be blatantly cheering for Rogue this game. Oh, sorry. No, I'm not. Sorry, guys. I forgot. 69 hit point adept. I was going to say, like, I just want to see a longer, closer series, but now the herO has a 69 hit point adept. Immediately changing sides. I am a fair weather fan. What can I say? Zerglings going around the left. Link speed was delayed only a little bit this game, but nice, efficient, economic build for Rogue so far. Twilight Council's there. Second gateway. Third gas. No fourth gas. I smell a Blink Stalker timing. Perhaps. Or a Gateway Man style. The Forge being delayed here. Actually, wait. This Twilight Council's pretty... This could be Glaive Adepts as well. It could be Glaive Adepts. It does take a fourth gas now, but... Not really prioritizing putting onto them until just now. Okay. And it is Blink. All right. Okay, so pretty quick 4-gate Blink. Immediate chronos on that. Could just be 4-gate Blink pressure with the oracles. It could also be much more committed. But as the Forge goes down, we get our answer on that. It is indeed just a bit of pressure. All right, grabs a few creep tumors, zaps the queen a bit. Doesn't do too much damage to her. And the oracle's going to try and clear the creep on the left as well. So the oracles and the queens are kind of in a battle here. Queen's trying to get the Zerg map control out with the creep. The oracle's trying to clear it. It's that dance to stop the Zerg. Because if the Zerg gets too much creep out there, it's just such a good movement advantage. So much free vision. It's one of those ways where Zerg kind of naturally says, hey, if you don't keep this in control, I will get an advantage just by existing. So forces the Zerg's opponents to get out on the map and pressure them in some way. Once again, Templar Archives, very early. So these two gases will go up in about 30 seconds, maybe even less here on this base. This is, yeah, clearing a few lings to try and limit Rogue's vision as well. I mean, this is just, once again, 3-base Storm. It's such a safe style for herO. He does have a better pressure this time in that he can go across with like 7-8 Stalkers, the 2 Oracles, harass the 4th base, force a lot of Zerg. Spire goes down for... Okay, this time, Rogue has learned his lesson, guys. He's not trying to build every tech tree. He's just going for the fastest Spire ever. It's a bad Spire placement in that it's very easy to scout with an Oracle coming in from the left. I much prefer somewhere in the middle or up here or here, I think is actually a little bit easier to hide. But the question is, can he defend it? Lings go across the map. There's a battery in the depth. And the stasis traps will go down behind. Can he defend his 4th base? If you lose your 4th base, This is really bad for Rogue. He sends a few lings forward. You've got to click a few Zerglings forward and hunt for where those stasis traps are. He's going to try and go in behind her. Oh, he doesn't quite set off the stasis. You've got to hunt further. The Stalkers get away, but at least Rogue doesn't lose many lings, and that's what's most important. Doesn't lose the hatchery, doesn't lose many lings. He's also droned up to 66 now, and he's building a base on the left, so if he loses the base on the right, he can just use that one. Spire's almost done. You can see the difference in the timing, man. This Spire is finishing. I think the Spire only started just after 6 minutes in the last game in the corner, maybe 6.5. So this time it's way quicker. The mutas are going to be much harder for a guy who's only got a pack of Stalkers, and he's not really scouting. The Oracles are too busy guarding these Stalkers on the map. So he's not scouting in the back. He's not seeing the Spire. And it's good to see Rogue decisively doing something. With how fast the start is in the, you know, the Legacy of the Void, it's in ZVP especially, you kind of just have to commit to a path and try to optimize it. You can adjust if you see something that counters it completely. But I think if you play like Rogue was in the previous 2 games, you try to make every tech tree, wait for your opponent to make a play, you give up the initiative. And doing that against herO is letting him play his game. Now, not sure who got queued up to build that 4th base, guys. It looks like there was a probe there stuck behind the Zealot High Templar. He's going to go take this 4th on the right side. Seems like a much worse 4th than the one on the left, but herO loves taking hard-to-defend bases. Mutas flying in on this right side. There's no cannon in the mineral line, no Phoenix. These first Mutalisks are going to cause so much trouble, and herO does not see it coming at all. He's going to blink his Stalkers across, no doubt, to try and get on top of it. He's got to blink up towards his main is more important, though. And actually, that's so many mutas. They're just going to fight. Pick off one of the Stalkers. Stalkers will finally get one Mutalisk, but not before the mutas are into that main. Great focus fire for herO. Can he get another Mutalisk? He should be able to. That Ready Point Muta does get focus fired, but he punishes by taking out another Stalker as well. And remember, when you've got competitive muta count, if he blinks forward, he can't blink back. And that's when your mutas can turn and gun down those front Stalkers. So that was a few Stalkers, 8 probes for 2 mutas. Good first trade for a Zerg who's up on 8 gas, but he doesn't have a 5th base yet, and he's going to try and take the rich gas right outside the Protoss, which is so unnecessarily greedy. But here, oh, he gets all the High Templar. He makes him storm himself, trying to defend himself. The mutas clean up all the High Templar. They are low on hit points, which means the Stalkers can cause them troubles. He's trying to use the bouncers here. He's going to turn and try and fight. He gets one of these Stalkers. Got to be careful with trades like that. Now 4 Mutalisks have gone down, but he's got 2 more High Templar and another Stalker. When you're up 20 workers, that trading's good. I actually kind of like this base. I normally hate players. Pro players are just obsessed with purple gas. I think it's kind of dumb. I kind of like it because Rogue really just wants to play full momentum. He's also pivoting to Hydra Bane. He's gone 18 mutas, so he makes it look like a full muta commit, but he's already committing to Hydra Bane. And if you're on 5, now 6 base starting as well, Hydra Bane against a guy who's got no storm energy banking up because he's so busy massing Stalkers and Archons, massing cannons. How is he ever going to get out to a 4th base? Now, there is a problem, is if herO does build that storm count up, very carefully takes a 4th, he's going to have so much cannon battery layering his defenses, and he's not gone 2-star Phoenix. herO, I think he studied Rogue. Rogue kept forcing Zaun to go 2-star Gate Phoenix, but Rogue never full sends on the mutas. He goes up to about 20, and then he swaps Hydra Bane, so if you overcommit Phoenix, it's really bad against a mass Hydra Bane play. So herO has not taken the bait at all. He has not built it at all. A Stalker for a Muta, yet again there. Yet another one of these trades. Zerglings need to keep setting these stasis traps off where they can. There's so few Banes here, man. Where are the Banes? The Banes are morphing. They're coming in from the right side. Bane speed's not quite ready. There is one Storm available. The Banes are going to try and get on top of these Zealots. The Ling Hydra is going to come forward. There's no movement speed on the Hydras just yet, but it doesn't matter. You're deep in Zerg territory. The Hydra Bane doing very well. Mutas are going to rotate on the right side. They're going to hit that natural as well. You got to be careful. You got to keep these Banes here to guard against the Zealots. The Hydras do have the range advantage. There's so many cannons in the natural. I don't know if you could fight that. herO with one last-ditch effort push. He's got to do damage here. He's going to blink on top of the Hydra Bane like the mad lad he is, trying to overwhelm. The drones should have been pulled here already. Oh no, Rogue, you can't be losing your damage output. He's losing all of his Hydras. A new set of Hydras comes in from the left side. The Archons are starting to fall. Does he have the numbers? The mutas are coming home. The mutas are returning home. They're fighting the Stalker rally. The Stalker's now blinking backwards. herO, he has that knack for taking engagements. No one else can, and finding a way to up the ante. But of course, with that rich gas mining on the right side, which actually he's pulling off now, and then back on it. Yeah, I don't know why you'd pull off the rich gas. That's literally double efficiency gas mining. And oh, that's the game-ending move. All of the High Templar get sniped by the mutas. The mutas don't care about sacrificing a few extra. He says, if you don't have storms, you have no answer for my main army, which is now Hydra Bane. I've still got enough mutas to threaten mineral lines, be annoying, force you to build 30 cannons across 3 bases. None of which are going to help you secure a fourth. And that's always the problem with static defense. It's static. It don't move. You kind of need your opponent to attack into it for it to gain value, which is great sometimes, and other times not so much. Oh, dude, hero's so good. He just got 2 Mutalisks, almost got a 3rd one. Now, Rogue should not waste time, of course. Just needs to split his army, come in from multiple sides, destroy the 4th base. Meanwhile, herO is desperately trying to make High Templar on the high ground, energy recharging and trying to get Storm energy. Storm's his only hope, but he's so far behind. He is so far behind in this game. Storm's over there, doesn't really hit anything except his own Stalkers. Yes, the Mutas are getting taken out, but there's so much Hydra Bane where that came from. The Hydra's stuttering forward, taking out that High Templar in the back. 4th base goes down. Bane's rolling towards Stalkers. Good starter step for herO. He's going to spread his units out as well, try to fall back to the cannons. Blinks to the high ground with the Stalkers. That means the mineral line is wide open. Run, boys, run! Run! 10 probes go down. This is always the situation we love with herO. Like, there's no way he can win, but he will keep microing in this desperate spot. And it's like, I think he kind of enjoys it. He's like, every unit is a herO now. He's like, bleed the Zerg, make them pay for every step they take onto our homeworld. Make them pay with the blood of 1,000 of these filthy bugs. I like to think there's a lot of, like, elitist racism with Protoss as well. I truly believe, like, you know, people like to think, like, Artanis is, like, the quintessential Protoss, but I actually think the quintessential Protoss, there's 2 of them in the campaign. It's Rohana and, Alarak, the John Delancey. Basically, they're just, like, super elitist, super racist, and kind of badass at the same time. Nonetheless, Rogue wins that game, and he will not go down without a fight. The trick there was committing hard and punishing herO for playing such a conservative 3-base Storm style. All right, guys. herO in the bottom left side of the map. It's game 4. Rogue in the top right. He's got a point on the board. And he says it's time to build a hatchery in your back door, or the front door. What's he going to do, guys? Front door hatch? Back door hatch? Where is he placing a proxy hatch? I do not know. But I think Rogue's done with normal games for this series, especially on Celestial Enclave, a fantastic turtle map. Drone goes all the way around the left side. Says hello to the Tastelope there. Named after Tasteless, I believe, that critter, because they look very similar. The Artosilope as well, also looks exactly like Artosis. Artosis was, I believe, vegan for many years, and it's green. Vegans eat green things. Dude, what is this drone doing? You can't just build a hatchery there. He'll see it. It's in vision. So what's the plan? He waits for him to go back after building a pile. Oh. Oh, Rogue, you cheeky boy. Dude, and wait. Why is hero's going... What is... Guys, they're both doing such meme builds. herO is doing a blind Nexus first in his backdoor expansion, which... What? Who does this? And he's not even walling his base. So like, literally, herO is doing, like, the most ridiculous build I've ever seen. And Rogue's whole build is like, your wall-off's here. I've got a hatchery that you're not going to notice inside your wall-off until it's too late. And then Rogue's he's gonna come in and he's gonna be like, why don't you have a friggin' Nexus? Like, I don't know, it could still work out for him, but like, you know, it's just one of those things where you're like, what the hell, man? And look at that, herO even thought he might hatch block me, so I need to check for a hatchery down there. He just checked for a hatch block. He thinks there's no hatchery. There is a hatchery. It's there. I have no idea what happens from this situation. It is 2-gate. 2-gate should win for herO in terms of getting ahead. And what do you even plan to do as Rogue? Like, you know, you're bringing 3 drones. So he was going to drill in and build spines in here. Or did he actually expect the end base? Because if there was a gateway wall off, bringing 3 drones doesn't seem like a good idea. But now that he sees there's no Nexus... And I guess he has to build a queen here. He's just going to spread creep. He's just going to march spines up the ramp. If he can get a creep tumor here, and then get 3 spines rooted on the high ground, yeah, pull off gas. Pull off gas and just mass Zerglings. And he's even going to bring 2 more drones. Dude, he's going to build 5 spine... Oh my god, he's going to go for the wall of hentai. No way. Okay, herO realizes what's happening. He sees the creep, he sees the spines. He's going to start building shield batteries. This is going to get very weird very quickly. Already Zerglings can cancel the first shield battery. This could be massive. 2 Adepts are going to come out, but I think the Adepts save it. Yes, they do. First 2 Zerglings go down. Like I said, 2-gate's going to be a big advantage here, but the problem is going to be, can you get the creep tumor down? Rogue needs to guard the creep tumor. If the adepts can snipe it, he's screwed. hero's going to try and click it. Now, there is a trick you can do here where you can block him. Oh, yeah, the spines are good. There's a trick where you can put the queen directly in front of the creep tumor, but facing away from it. And because the queen has a very big booty, I kid you not, it sticks out, and it's really hard to click on the things that are directly behind her because you'll click on the queen's tail instead. Like, it's actually a thing you can do, is specifically place your queen so your opponent can't click on it unless they move their screen around to get it on the edge of the screen. Spinecrawler's moving to the high ground right now. Rogue here. He's even brought a Spore Crawler because he knows there's going to be a Void Ray coming. Dude, this is genius. It's so filthy. And remember, Adepts can't do anything. You need Stalkers to fight Spinecrawlers. Adepts, they've only got 4 range, and they don't do enough damage. But the thing is, Stalkers will get wrecked by Zerglings. Zerglings are into the expansion. The Spines are here, and the creep is spreading. And as the creep comes forward, the Spines can march forward. Batteries are good for healing, but you're never going to take down 2 queens and a Spore with a Void Ray, because the transfuse is there, and there's more queens building on the front. He might have to build another drone here and get a second Spore now that he confirms that it's Void Rays, just because once there's 2 or 3 Void Rays with battery healing, maybe they could do it. More Zerglings going in the back door. The Nexus will go down. The queen has to transfuse. There's that extra Spore I talked about. Yeah, if you have 2 Spores and 3 queens, I don't think there's anything hero can do. Lings are going to come in and try and fight this as well. Lings are going to engage with anything they can get their hands on. The batteries are all out of juice right now. The Adepts are getting surrounded. They're going to try and shade back to safety, but a bunch of them go down. Very nice play here for rogue, who's not lost much. He's only lost 17 Zerglings. The batteries are out of juice. herO is supply blocked right now. And herO, who's been doing this, let's not wall off and be extra greedy. He's been doing this so much recently. And he finds himself now perhaps paying a very steep price as rogue cheesing his way back into this series in an age where we thought there really was no way to cheese people and punish them for not scouting. Rogue is so creative. He finds a way to get a nasty all-in off in a GSL semifinals and resurrecting himself from the brink of defeat. This is such an epic win. There's just, what can you deal with it? You know, you just can't. The Spores and the queens are too good, right? Like, yeah, you killed 1 Spore, but now there's 3 queens. There's another few batteries coming in. A couple spines getting focused. There's nothing on the ground, so the Zerglings are tearing down the buildings. Other 2 Spore Crawlers finish here. As long as you've got plenty of Zerglings, you probably don't need spines anymore. The Void Rays are going to focus down a queen. Transfuse gets on one of them, but the other one doesn't have it. The Void Rays, are they going to be able to break out with 2 more Spores coming forward? I can't imagine that's going to go well. The Zerglings taking out the Stalker, and now you've got to deal with the Zerglings. Oh, he accidentally recalled! Oh, it's a misclick. He misclick recalls. herO panicking. He recalls the Void Ray into range of the Spore. A bunch of probes as well. I think he was already dead, to be fair. Because the Lings are going to kill everything on the ground. Even if he overwhelms the queens, he can't overwhelm the Spores and the queens. The Lings kill the entire economy. And that's going to be that. herO. Aligned Nexus first. Way too greedy. Gets punished. I thought the 2 gates might be the best call there. And I think in hindsight, I want to say this is defensible, technically. Depending on when herO scouts it, I think if herO does nothing but build Stalkers after 2 Adepts, and worries more about dealing with the Spines than the Zerglings. The problem is the Stargate costs so much money, and with these sort of pushes, they're always going to build Spore Queen. Sometimes some people would argue you get an Oracle, you actually fly across the map, because a lot of Zergs won't build a Spore or anything at home, and you can ruin their economy. Takes a long time for that to kick in, but if you actually just build a bunch of gateway units, you could do really well. Chat says, I think Sentry and Forge actually holds their own. Oh yeah, Reactive Forge is a checkmate. If he dropped a Forge here and just starts and builds a pylon here and just starts building cannon batteries, like whatever, and even add a Sentry, so whenever he tries to bust up, you just split the army in half or the spines in half. You let 1 spine crawler up and nothing else. Yeah, this is actually an easy hold in hindsight, if you realize that Stargate's not the play. That's so funny. This is actually, yeah, in hindsight, this is an easy hold if you have the knowledge to go immediate Forge, add a Sentry in after a few gateway units, and then you can hold. But the Stargate, you can see, just doesn't really do that much because it's too easily countered by Queens, which they're always going to build to spread creep, and just adding 1 or 2 Spore Crawlers. Really sick build by Rogue either way, but interesting to think about the theory of you basically need to treat this as an insane all-in. You see spines building at your base, you have to build cannons to defend. GG's. All right, guys. I did not expect us to be here in Game 5 after how this series started. herO in the top left side of Ruby Rock, Rogue in the bottom right. This is a pretty action-packed map. This is a map that rewards action, it rewards combat, And for herO, is he going to try and block the hatchery? It looks like no. He's going to play a defensive opening. Is he really going to risk not scouting, though? Or is he just going to scout after building the gateway? I think he might build the gateway and then scout. Bit of a conservative opening. But, I mean, you're playing Rogue. Rogue's a gambler. Not that I mean, they're both gamblers. Don't let these two near the casino. And he will go scout after gate. Very conservative opening for him. Rogue goes for a 16 hatchery here. Very happy to get his opening away. I'd say slight build advantage to Rogue. Very slight, though. Guys, I'm finding myself in a weird phase where I'm super attracted to Zerg units. I'm not sure what to do, says Brogy. Okay. Twitch chat's being Twitch chat again, guys. My advice would be that's totally normal. I also love steamy, throbbing, moist units that destroy the dirty Protoss and Terran. Down with the dirty high-tier races. Up with the Swarm, man. Long live the Swarm. Totally normal. I don't know why it is that, like, I always love kind of, I played Orcs and Goblins in Warhammer Old World. I liked Zerg. I think I am just a hipster. I think it was just, these guys are a bit different, you know? You know how, like, the most normie friends in your friends group, they're like, I play Imperial, I play Space Marines, I play Empire, I play Terran. You know, like, they just play the first thing that's there in the game. And I think for me, I'm just a different flavor of vanilla, you know? In that I'm like, I pick the thing that's different every time. I do remember, though, playing StarCraft 1 as a kid, the production coming out of the eggs, the lava from the hatcheries was... It just felt so different, you know? I was like, whoa! Like, you know, every other RTS, like, you played Warcraft 2, Warcraft 1, you know, you played Command & Conquer, and it was always, you build these buildings, and they'd produce the units, and you're like, wow. This thing is like growing these lava and you can turn them into anything. And there's this cool creep spread, which didn't even serve a function in StarCraft 1 other than you need to build buildings on creep spread, right? But it looked cool and it felt awesome. I still love the Zerg sound effects. So yeah, I should use more of them. We have the sound of, I think, is it Mutalisks or Zerglings hatching? For when people like they join my YouTube memberships program when I'm live on stream. And it always kind of surprises me. I'm like, why am I hearing StarCraft 1 egg noises? They sound so satisfying. And then I'm like, oh, right, I put that as an alert. All right, so this is not a super aggressive opening, guys. It's a gate expand, chronoing probes. Obviously, he'll chrono the Oracle once he hits 50 energy. So Rogue, has he made any real adjustments? Not really. It's just third queen into third hatchery. Very solid opening. Only 2 Zerglings to start. Adds 2 more now, because of course, otherwise the Adept can cause you troubles. I mean, it was actually 2 across the map as well, but because the Adept's at home, he hasn't tried to run them in. So it was 4 Zerglings, never mind. Void Ray for herO, guys. Void Ray, of course, is all about hunting Overlords early on. He's going to go catch this Overlord at the front, and he'll try to go across the map. A lot of the times they go across the map, try to kill an Overlord here, then go home and catch this Overlord. But it looks like herO's prioritizing just denying scouting for now. He's just playing it very conservative. Just wants to push the vision back. Now, most players on the ladder, if you see a Void Ray, they're cheesing, guys. Maybe not cheesing, but they're either going like 2 Stargate Carrier after, or they're doing an 8-gate Zealot all in, or something. It's almost always something like that if they open Void Ray. herO is almost always just playing a normal macro game. He's just building Oracles after, taking a third. He's just going to put your vision back a little bit with the Void Ray, make you a bit more uncomfortable. That being said, you can delay your Spore Crawlers a lot, because it just isn't like an Oracle. It doesn't dive as fast. It's about 4 minutes 5 where you want to start, maybe 4 minutes 10 on a bigger map. Sometimes I even delay to 4:20 before you build the Spore and the Natural in the third, but I think Rogue's probably going to skip the Spore in the third entirely. He's got to be careful, though. His queens are getting lured away by that Void Ray, and that means the Oracle's finding an undefended third base. This is a little sloppy. The Void Ray is diving in the back, very ambitious. Spore Crawler goes down now. He does force the Spore to cancel, but of course, a quick rebuild. And now that the Void Ray's in the back, that's actually hilarious that he's done this. It's the most herO thing ever. Most people want that Void Ray roaming the map, but he's like, I can just keep being annoying from back here. Look at me. And scout with it as well. I am surprised Rogue hasn't sent the queens to the edge to kind of try and, you know, push it back a little bit. Void Ray's going to grab a drone. herO's doing herO things, guys. Pulling that drone away actually got it killed. If it hopped in the extractor, it probably would have survived. Not bad, 2 drones. Doesn't even take much damage there. Roach Warren's on the way as well as the Lair. Templar Archives coming in. Guys, this Templar Archives is so early. This is Zealot Archon pressure. Now, the standard build is a 6-gate Zealot Archon with a Warp Prism. But this is herO. He's just going to make Archons and Zealots and run them across the map. No Robo. And he's making another Oracle as well. Roaches are correct against this, but they're also not very mobile. Overlord speed. Overlord speed. Rogue's going all in. Rogue's going to be hitting a Roach Queen build. Now, he showed an Evo Chamber. Why did he show the Evo Chamber? He showed the Evolution Chamber because that's a sign of a macro game. Look, Zerg's got a 4th. Zerg has an Evo Chamber. Zerg's clearly macroing, but he's not. It's a trick. Rogue is actually cutting workers now. He's going to build nothing but Roaches, Ravagers, Zerglings, pick up a bunch of Queens into the Overlord. He's going to shove across this map, but there are 2 Oracles and a Void Ray. 4 Queens in the Overlord will struggle with such a high amount of air units. If especially, you got to be careful about the Void Ray sniping the Overlord. And now he goes 6 more drones. So no, he's not all-inning. What's he doing? Oh, he's faking the push. He wants him to see the Dropper-Lord, so he thinks a push is coming. Oh, is he going to fall for it? But the problem is the army's not cleaning up the Adepts. Rogue should have been out there rallying units. If he showed himself rallying units with this, he might have got a massive reaction. He's still getting a lot of cannons as a reaction. More Overlords are coming. This is a fake out. herO thinks, yes, I just killed the Overlord with 4 Queens. But honestly, where's the rest of the army? This smells wrong. This smells like a fake out. And I think he should realize, herO should realize, Rogue is playing mind games into mind games. You have to be careful when you play double mind games that you don't backflip over yourself. He's in danger of doing that right now. Storm is finished. There are High Templar gathering energy. There's energy recharge as well. The cannons don't cancel. You might think, ooh, that's bad. But realistically, he built a ton of cannons in the previous games. It's only bad if you have Mutas flying in the back. There's no Spire. It's still only Roach Tech. It is exactly the build we thought it was. It's just hitting later. So he's kind of scared herO into building cannons. But then Rogue's doing the exact same all-in that he was just faking doing, except a little bit later. Most Protoss players would have gone for a 4th thinking, oh no, I'm behind. Not herO. herO says, let's go counterattack. And that will force these Roaches to reveal themselves. If he can flank with the Roaches and get on those High Templar, this could be massive for Rogue, but he's got to get on top of these High Templar. You see those Roaches? He wants to get the High Templar. Right now, herO thinks he's catching him on 85 drones. He's not. Roaches coming up the ramp to the left. Stasis traps. Can they save the day? The stasis traps might save the day! No! 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 Rogue, not like this! Not like this! No! This is a terrible timing attack for herO, or at least it should be. It should be an awful attack for herO. But Rogue walks into the stasis traps. He just thought he thought he could click them down in time. He couldn't. Rogue panicked. He misjudged in the heat of the moment. herO just delivered his army on a platter. This should have been exactly what Rogue needed to win this game in this series and go to the finals. This should have been a game-ending fight. herO attacks at the worst possible time and finds he finds out what's happening. He's making High Templar. He has time to rebuild energy now because this attack is so delayed. He kills 20 drones. The Overlord drop with the Zerglings is now disjointed. And herO just needs to survive this counterattack, and he's got this in the bag. Rogue's trying to re-drone now. He can go Hydroden. He can't believe what's happening. I can't believe what's happening. There is very real pain in my voice right now because herO has once again just found victory. He's snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. Attacking right then into that mass Roach army was a disaster. And herO once again salvages it with his brilliance. Just throws some stasis traps on the front lines. And Rogue just got too excited. He should not have walked into those stasis traps. Oh, it just felt like watching 2 trains collide in a head-on collision. But Rogue was not ready for the thickness of herO's skull. herO concussing Rogue with that beautiful stasis trap headbutt. And it's just so painful for Rogue, man. His crazy double, triple mind game kind of worked out here. But then he messed up on the execution in the fight. And herO now chasing him down with Blink Stalkers. Rogue is down 10 workers still as he tries to make Burrow and Aspire. He's still not recovered his economy, guys. It's an absolute mess. The fact that herO is still on 3 base gives us some small hope for Rogue, but he's got against Storm? Stalkers being down on economy, even though you're up on 4 bases, is rough. He's taking so many gases. He's trying to go Mutas, but right now, honestly, the only way you win this is pure Roach Ravager and really good micro, and herO overcommitting. And I don't know if he can pull this off when he's only up 30 army supply. Roach Ravager army supply is very low value. Oh my god, the Storm's in the mineral line. Oh, this is absolutely awkward as all heck in hell, man. Storms going down, the Roach Ravager coming forward. Too many storms. The Roach Ravager takes so much damage. They're heavily wounded. He's still got, I think, one more storm up there. Oh, High Templar goes down at 73 energy. Immortal gets left out in the wind there. hero's going to try and get these Stalkers out. The Oracles are cleaning up some of the Roach Ravager. Got to try and take out whatever he can. Good blink backs there. The Archons will get taken out, but Rogue needed the decisive fight. This was not it. This was barely a hold. It looked like, and then the reinforcements come in, and it's not even a hold. herO is going to do it again. I feel so happy for herO, terrible for Rogue. I'm kind of in pain because, as always, correct StarCraft logic is always there, like, you should do this in a StarCraft game, and herO picks up StarCraft logic and smashes its head in. Is like, I do what I want. Let's be real, it's a huge blunder for Rogue. It's kind of tragic, guys, to have his semifinals journey end right there. Yeah, he was looping around a bit too slow with these roaches, and at this point, you just need to chill. You just need to run your drones. Like, so the thing is, Rogue doesn't want to let herO escape, right? The reason he committed here, guys, is Rogue is all in right now. Even though you might think he's on 4 base, he's got no drones on the 4th, he's down in workers, he has no tech. Look at his tech, guys. There's no Spire, no Hydroden, no Infestation Pit. There is no follow-up. So for Rogue, he really, the fact this army's here, it's a prize. I want to catch this army. I don't want to give him time to recall. I don't want to give him time to do anything else. I want to engage. But seeing these stasis traps right there, what can he do, guys? Well, a stasis trap. I don't know how many hit points does a stasis trap have. Does it die to 1 corrosive bile, or does it take 2, guys? Because I feel like he could just go corrosive bile, but he's got to pull these guys back. These roaches need to pull over here. These guys need to pull back. Or you can just send single roaches forward, or, like, you know, this roach is probably going to set off that stasis. Maybe you have to pull some drones. You got to pull back, set off the stasis traps, and then get in there. And unfortunately, Rogue, I think he's trying to click on the stasis trap here. He's clicking here, and then he's clicking here, guys. Honestly, I think he's just so excited. He's hoping he can get to the finals. He's not even misclicking on the stasis trap. It's like he's not even registering that the stasis traps are there. Or maybe he didn't realize they're almost finished. Because clicking here and clicking here, if he was clicking next to it and misclicking, I understand. Right? That's like, oh, it's a misclick. This is not a misclick. I think this is just visually he was a bit overloaded and his brain was kind of farting. Because look, only then does he notice at the last second. You see him try to pull back the left side. Way too late. And I don't think he even knows this one is there. Okay, he does know that one's there because the Spore Crawler was providing detection, so his roaches kill it. But that's just a tragic, tragic moment. herO attacking at a very dangerous time. As I said, what did we see this whole series? herO plays incredibly safe 3-base, Storm, builds a bunch of cannons and batteries, and then he just randomly pushes with that Storm. And he won Game 1, Game 2, and Game 5, all with that exact same play. For Rogue, that's going to feel really bad, because he's normally a guy where he doesn't lose to the same thing multiple times in one series. If he makes a misplay, he usually corrects it. It's very unfortunate for Rogue to have gotten caught by that. Obviously, it's a different format. Game 1 and Game 2, he was just being too greedy. Here in Game 5, it should have been perfect, this attack, and he just messed up on the execution at the final steps. It really does hurt, but GG, well played. herO finds victory once again in a very hard position, and he goes to the grand finals. You guys can see the other semi in the finals going up tomorrow and the day after on my YouTube channel, so we'll see you guys there. Goodbye and good night.